Hello everyone, welcome back to the Dainty Seamstress. So I have this project that I'm doing for my little brother. He wants some little comfy shorts to put on. So I'm going to be using this African print and this black to make him some shorts. And then I also have this sun print. It's a sun and the moon. It's very fiery. And I have these pieces here. Well, this print, I love this print. I made him a top for it, and I'm making him some shorts to match. And then I'm also going to be making him a pair in this print. Very pretty. I made him, well, I had to tear these up to get the pattern, and then I went ahead and traced them, so I always have the pattern for him when he wants some more. But I also made him a pair in this print. This is a lot softer than the other ones. Hopefully they'll be as soft once they've been washed. They are wax cottons, so I feel like for sure that this print will get soft because it feels lighter. The material is thinner, but it does have the wax. That's why it has like that little sheen to it. So then, yeah, so I had to trace these to get a pattern. And then I traced all of that out, cut all the pieces out, and he's finally going to be getting these. He's been waiting for quite a while because I've been doing so many other things, and now I have some downtime, so I'm gonna go ahead and tackle this. So here I have both of the fabrics right side together for each pair of shorts, and I'm sewing the front and back crotch together. Okay, so I've done that, so I'm going to start sewing the crotch inseam together, and then I'm going to put in the pockets and start putting in the waistband. So with right sides together, I have both the front and back pinned and connected at the crotch seam, inseam, and I'm sewing them together for each pair of shorts. Okay, so I wanted to show you guys what I'm doing. I want to show you how to put in the pockets and how to sew them, and also how to sew the shorts together. I've already given him a pair of the shorts, so I'm working on the last two pairs. I made two pairs and I'm working on the last two right now. So this is the back. These are the back pieces, right? This is the crotch for the back. It's longer, so you got two pieces, one and two, right? So all I did was I put those two pattern pieces right side together, and I stitched from the top to the bottom. I back stitched on the top and on the bottom. I did that same thing for the two front pieces. So I turn to the front, you see they're sewn together already. Again, I just put them right side together and sewed the crotch seam. After I sewed the crotch seams on both the front and the back pieces, I sewed the front and the back inseam together. So what that is I took the two pieces I've sewn together, the front piece and the back piece. At the inseam, I matched the front seam and the back seam together. I matched it up and I put a pin there to make sure it would, see how it's matched up the seam. So this is the inseam right here. So I pinned that along the inseam, right sides together, and I just stitched from here to the other side, back stitching at the top, and back stitching on one side and on the side that I ended on. And I also flipped the seams open and I ironed them. Well, no, actually I didn't iron them. I just sewed them together like that. And so that's how you sew that part. The next thing I did, and I did this for the front piece and the back piece, I have the pockets, right? This is one pocket. So what I did was from the waistband, now I have 2 inches for the waistband. So 2 inches down from the waistband, I made a mark that you can see here, and I put the top of the pocket right sides together on that mark, and I pinned it on the top and on the bottom, and I did that for all 4 pieces. Okay, so it looks like this. This is the back. No, actually this is the front. This is the front. Again, the pockets are right sides together. You can see the shape. And I did that again on the front and the back. And so now I'm going to show you how to sew the pocket. Okay, and so here again I have the pocket. This is the side seam of the shorts. The pocket is going in the seam. That's why it's called inseam pockets. So after you've pinned your pocket 2 inches down from the waist of the shorts, you're going to stitch from with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. You're going to stitch from the top of the pocket to the bottom, back stitching at the top and on the bottom. And you're going to do that for all 4 pieces. So let me show you. Let me see if I can get my machine closer. Hopefully you can see. I'm going to do it on this side because it'll be easier to see. And I have orange thread in here. I was using black at first, but these next 2 pairs they have a lot of orange in them, so I'm going to stick with the orange. And let me see if I can bring this down some more. Okay, I think that's good. And then I'll just slide it up. Hopefully, I hope you guys can see. Let me move the light over a little. Move it up. Okay. And so I have, let's see, make sure this is over. Okay, that's over. And I have a guide that tells me where 1/2 inch is, so I just match up the edge of my fabric to the 1/2 inch mark. Put my foot down, bring it a little closer. Okay, I thought I could zoom in. I guess I can't zoom in, so I hope you guys can see what I'm doing here. So I think I'm going to stop about right here. Okay. And then get my clippers. And so this is what it looks like. So 1/2 inch down to here. The next thing you're going to want to do is flip your pocket kind of open where you can see the right sides, and then you're gonna iron this, but for right now I'm just gonna press it with my fingers. But you're gonna press this open, and you're going to edge stitch 1/8 of an inch away from the seam. And you're gonna do that again on all 4 of the pockets. So I'm gonna push my thing over a little bit to about right there, and line it up really good, and then I'm gonna one more thing that I forgot to mention. So when you have your seam pressed open, right, on the back, it should be catching the seam allowance. So let me show you on this piece right here. So let's say this was the piece, right, and you stitched it, and it's gonna turn like this, and then you're gonna have this seam allowance. You want to make sure that when you're edge stitching, that is catching the seam. You'll see what I'm talking about in just a moment. So your seam allowance should be facing this way, so it should be getting caught. Clip my threads, and then this is what I mean. If you can see the threads, let me get a little closer. It caught this seam allowance, right? So it's sewn down, so it's going to keep the pocket on the inside of the pants and not wanting to come outside of the pants. So this is how it looks. Very nice, very neat. And I got this fabric from Joann's a few years ago. I think it's really cool, and I know, again, my brother's gonna love this. So yeah, so just make sure that you have the seam allowance folded towards the pocket. Well, press it towards the pocket. And so again, you're doing that for all 4 pockets, and I'm gonna do that on a time lapse, and then I'm gonna show you guys the next step. Okay, so the next thing, which I've already done here, is you're going to place the front and back right sides together, and then you're going to pin it. You want to make sure everything is aligned very well when you're getting ready to sew this pocket. So just pin from the waist around the pocket curve to the bottom of the pocket and down the side seam of the of the shorts. The next thing you want to do after that is from the top of the pocket where you stitched, you're going to mark a 1/2 inch and also another 1/2 inch inside of, from the edge of the the seam. So a 1/2 inch in on the bottom and a 1/2 inch in from the top. So you can see here, this is how it looks. So a 1/2 inch down from the top and a 1/2 inch up from the bottom of the seam. And then to stitch, what we're gonna do is you're going to, at a 1/2 inch seam allowance from the top, sew down to this line, go over whatever shape your pocket is, that's what you're going to follow. You can also pre-mark a seam allowance in there, but it's just, for me, it's going to be 1/2 inch. And I'm going to go curve around, and then once I get to the bottom, I'm going to go a stitch outside, one stitch outside of the seam allowance, and then I'm going to continue going down and close it up. And that's just so I catch all of the sewing outside of the line is going to catch. You're doing that from the top and the bottom. Sewing outside, sewing down here, sewing outside of that line. You're going to catch that, and then you won't be able to see it once you flip the shorts inside out. So I'm going to go ahead and sew that. So this is what it looks like after you stitch it. After you've stitched it, you can see the pivot where you went down, and then the pivot from the top to the pocket. So now all I'm gonna do is turn this inside out. Well, actually, if you like, I hemmed the bottom of the shorts beforehand. You can hem them afterwards or before. It's up to you. And then what I like to do next, what I did with all the other shorts, was I went ahead and I folded the top of the waistband down 1/4. And then I folded it down again 1 1/8. So I'm going to get my ruler to measure that to make sure it's how I want it to be. Well, actually, you know what? I'm going to do 1.25 inches for this one. So I'm just gonna measure this. It is 1.25 inches. And I'm gonna take my pen and stick it, pin that together. And then I'm gonna do that for every seam. So this is, I believe this is the back. Let's see. Okay, no, so this is the back. And then what you also want to do is take your pocket. And you're going to fold it towards the front of, you're going to fold the pocket towards the front of the shorts. And then if you like, you can also pin it in place so it doesn't move. Oh wait, I pinned it a little too much. Just pin it to the first layer. And then for the side seam, all I do again is just fold it down 1/4. And then down 1.25 inches. Because I'm going to be using 1 inch seam allowance. I mean, not 1 inch of elastic for the waistband. So I want to make sure I have enough room in there. I know I didn't serge my fabric this time, but it'll be okay. I'm just gonna keep measuring this. Okay. So this is the front. And then on the other side. Oh, wait, let me go ahead and put it in. Okay. Okay, and now I am going to get ready to I'm gonna remove this little part of my machine. And this is the front again, so I'm going to start on the back middle seam, the center back seam, and about, I want to say maybe 5/8 or 3/4 away from the center back seam, I'm going to just edge stitch. It's kind of it's what it is. It's an edge stitch. So I'm folding this material at 1/4 underneath. So I just like to fold it under as I go and keep it as straight as possible. Keeping everything nice and straight. Folding over the pocket. I'm just going to do this all the way until I get to the center back again. Now I'm going to take my elastic. I'm going to take a large or medium sized safety pin, stick it through like that, and I'm going to slide it through the casing until it comes out here again. So what I'm doing is I'm just pushing the safety pin in and pushing it in as much as I can, and then pulling the elastic through. And so now I'm getting closer to the end. So here's the opening. I'm going to take the safety pin and pull it through with the elastic. Take off the safety pin. Pull this through enough. It's going to look like this, and you're going to, well, in my case, I'm going to take an inch and an inch here, overlap it like this. And then I'm going to take a zigzag stitch to it. To keep this together. Let me get closer so you can kind of see. I'm just going back and forth. And then I'm going to move it over. It's going to look like this. Clip the threads. And I'm going to pull it in like that. And then I'm going to close this up right here. Close up the opening. So I'm going to turn it back to a straight stitch. And I'm just going to do a little back stitch. Clip the threads. And that's what it looks like closed up. And then you can just scrunch the fabric out, spread it out evenly. This fabric is so cool. And so I'm just gonna turn them inside out. Okay, so this is okay. So my camera cut off a bit, so I'm gonna have to go up in my storage and free up some space. But here are the shorts that came out really nice and really cute. He's going to love them. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video and tutorial. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment and let me know, and I can answer or make a little extra video to clear up any confusion. But thank you again for joining me. You can comment, like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the very next video. Have a wonderful evening, and God bless.